This is a bonus episode of the Growth Tigers podcast. This is an extension of episode 10 with Hao Tran. We talked a lot, and the content you have here is more on his personal story, including information about his travel hacking, his investments in Vietnam, his inspirations, the mentors he has, and how he got one with a cold email, and some advice that he thinks that you should keep with you. So enjoy this episode. I'll give you a deep dive on who Hao Tran is and what he's trying to do here in Vietnam. So once again, enjoy, and if you like it, please let me know by subscribing, commenting, or send me a message on Facebook. Thanks.
Yeah, so I'm making a few personal investments. I have put aside some of my own money to put investment into projects that I'm really passionate about. I think that's kind of where I found my niche. So a lot of my personal investments are in those. So for example, Vietcetera, and then I've invested in like a boutique hotel.
This one?
Yeah, Sunday Studios, and like a cafe and potentially a restaurant. So I'm kind of putting my money in a couple of different places, and I'm meeting a lot.
These are relatively small investments.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not small money, but it's I think enough for me to be really involved and interested. And obviously, I think there's a lot of, from a capitalist point of view, a lot of opportunity to make a good return as well. So I'm kind of combining the two, making the best of it, and seeing where it goes.
You've done a lot of traveling, and actually, if you look at your online presence, you're pretty well known for your travel hacking and Airbnb stuff, which I didn't know about you at all until I started looking.
Got it.
But now you kind of seem to have settled in on Vietnam.
Yeah.
So how does this kind of change this obvious passion for travel?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. You know, being based in San Francisco, you're 6 hours from anything, and more than 10 hours flight to Europe and Asia. So obviously, when I was based in San Francisco, it seemed like I was traveling a lot because I was. Obviously, being based here, it's an hour flight to a new country. And now that I'm here in Vietnam, even though I am Vietnamese American, in a sense, I'm in still full exploration mode. And it still surprises me every day that I'm discovering something new. A new opportunity comes up, a chance to do this or do that. It's super dynamic. And yeah, I think now that I'm in Vietnam, I can focus more of that time and effort into actually building a business around travel rather than just for fun.
Okay, so those forays into the boutique hotel, the restaurant, the hospitality stuff, that's kind of based off of your experience and knowledge in travel.
Exactly.
And you actually like that travel area.
Yeah, it's like hospitality, like in a connected economy kind of way. Because travel is easy to just think of planes and hotels, but it's also the experience, right? And part of that is like F&B, part of that is through writing in a way, and kind of communicating that knowledge or that opinions or whatever about travel. And so in that way, I'm really excited about what's coming up.
So let's turn the conversation back to you. We heard a little bit about your travel hacking and your interest in travel and tourism industry and all of your kind of small scale investments that you're testing and doing that experimentation. Outside of traveling, what inspires you to do these entrepreneurial ventures?
So looking back to my time in SF, I was from a creative standpoint.
That's San Francisco, right?
San Francisco, yeah, sorry. Okay. Very constrained. And because I was very focused on my job, but it was a very routine lifestyle. And I think here in Vietnam, I now have the freedom and flexibility to be creative. I can combine my business nuance with my creative kind of ability that was, it's now resurfacing in a way. That's really brought more energy out of myself and excitement to do things here.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's a strong inspiration that you've kind of put in for yourself to drive your goals, your dreams. Do you have a mentor?
I do. I have a couple. One of them is obviously one of the partners at 500 Startups. His name is Ben. He's based in San Francisco, unfortunately, so he's not here too often. But he's the one that originally recruited me in Vietnam. He's the one that provided a lot of guidance, but also tempered my excitement, set realistic expectations. I think that's pretty important. But it has also pushed me to think and encouraged me to think outside of the box. So he's one mentor.
Is that a personal development relationship?
Yes, personal development and professional, since he's my boss too. Right. But he's very chill, which is awesome. So the second one is An Do. So he is, I don't know, like 8 years older than me, and he's 8 more years of experience than me in Vietnam. And he's the one that actually got me on board at Vietcetera. Obviously I love writing. That's kind of, taking the charge on that. And he's provided me with a lot of those opportunities.
I've known Min for a long time, and actually he was episode 5 of the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you are interested in An Do, you can listen to episode 5.
Yep.
Okay, so these mentors you kind of stumbled into, or were you actively looking for mentorship?
So, yeah, I mean, I was never looking for a mentor in Vietnam. Again, going back to my story earlier, I was saying I had just finished on holiday, traveled to Vietnam, and then did some research, found that 500 was starting a fund in Vietnam. And so, of course, Ben was one of the partners, and I emailed him. I just did a cold email. He responded. That's kind of where all the doors opened, the floodgates opened. Spoke with him, and he introduced me to 5 more people, and so on and so on. So, yeah, that's kind of the story.
So, cold email. So, this is interesting because going back to episode 6 of the podcast, I talked to Hung Chan from Got It, right? Doing this fantastic startup in Silicon Valley, his team based in Hanoi. One of his advisors for the company is Guy Kawasaki.
Okay.
And so I had to ask, how do you get Guy Kawasaki to be your mentor, to be your advisor, right? And it was a cold email.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so this is interesting that I'm seeing a few commonalities here, that a lot of people are getting fairly high performing people to support them
Through cold
emails.
Yeah.
Is there a particular thing that you did in your email that you thought was kind of made it more viable that they would respond to you?
You just have to know how to write an email. What I've noticed in a cold email is that you just need a really succinct, compelling subject title. Don't drown it out. I think what I said was like, X Palantir Hotel tonight, 20-something wants to go to Vietnam. That was literally the subject title. And then inside was like 3 sentences. It was like, hey, my name's Hal. I live in SF. I work for this company, but I got bored and went to Vietnam on holiday. Found out about you guys through this link, linked to the article that I read about them. Would love to chat. Just done. Provided in that email too, provided all my contact information, provided my LinkedIn, provided my Facebook, just every resource, my Quora page, all of my online writings, right. Everything in a very one box email that they wouldn't have to ask me for more information. Right. Because if they open the email, they're like, I want to read about this guy's profile. Right. But he didn't provide his LinkedIn, so I have to go search for it. But I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to do that. So the one thing they don't have is time, right?
Yeah. So if you make it easy for them, just click, they're going to do it. So
okay, that's fantastic advice. Which is my next question is about advice, but you might have just covered it right there. Is there a piece of advice that kind of sticks with you, that keeps you kind of motivated, or when you're having some troubles or frustrations, that kind of helps bring you out of that? Is there a single piece of advice, either from a thought leader or from something you've developed yourself? Is there something there?
You just have to have belief in yourself that everyone is a good person and not out to get you. And no one's really always thinking about you either. I think in some way you have to have confidence in yourself before you can really deliver for other people or to match expectations. And I think that just starts with knowing that if you have belief in your own execution, just do it and don't worry about anyone else, and things will materialize by itself.
Even though trust is an issue in Vietnam, don't assume that everyone is out to get you. Protect yourself, execute, and be confident, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah.
So, final question. How can the listeners get in touch with you? What is your preferred social media of choice?
Yeah, I can be reached on Facebook. You can reach me through the Vietcetera Facebook page too. I have my emails on there. I pretty much respond to everything. So
okay. All right. So I will include those in the show notes.
Yep.
And maybe someday we'll see a Growth Tigers article on
Sure.
Vietcetera.
No, of course. We will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you, Hal.
Yep. Thanks, Brian.